Shalom uvracha. Welcome everybody. I'm going to continue from the previous video. The previous video we did a sikum of the basic sugya, rishonim, deot, poskim on siman kuf gimel in Hilchot Niddah. I'm going to continue now with the pתחי תשובה to close up the inyan pachot או יותר. פתחי תשובה. Agav, the pתחי תשובה is a very, very important sefer within in halacha in general. He brings all the nafkamina that basically fall between the cracks, close up different diunim within the poskim. So it's very, very important sefer to go through for anyone who's learning halacha. So with that said, I'm going to do some sikumim on the summarize up a few patashim. Pתחי תשובה. The pתחי תשובה says in the first one in Kuf Gimel, he brings up the inyan of hargashot. Why? Because as we spoke about last time in last video, we discussed the beginning of the Shulchan Aruch and the beginning of the Torah discussed the what makes up a Isha Niddah deoraita, and one of the ingredients is hargasha. Now this nekuda, this inyan of hargasha is spoken about more by harchava in Kuf Pei, in Kuf Tzadik, in the beginning of Kuf Tzadik. It's more situated there, but it comes up here and it's very important and now that it's brought up here, so some important stuff come up here. One of them is that the Patash brings up different types of hargasha. What is hargasha? What are different types of hargasha that I could done that I could decide that that is garam or nisha to be niddah deoraita. I can say this thing that happened to her. Okay, she's niddah deoraita. This is considered hargasha. So there's three types. One of them is im nizdazag kol gufa. If her whole body shook from the riyah of the dam, that is the day of the Rambam. The second one is ptichat hamekor. If the womb opened up, that is the day of the Tumat Adeshin. It's brought down in Kuf Tzadik Sif Aleph. And the third one is Nitan B'Machloket. It is the poskim argue about it. It's Zivat Varlach. If she feels that she feels like something wet coming out, something lach coming out. Now that is a machloket. Now whether that's hargasha, the Noida Yehuda says that it is hargasha. The Chatam Sofer, he holds that it's not hargasha. He says that in the name of his Rav, Rabbi Natan Adler, that it is not hargasha. Another nidon in the pתחי תשובה, if a woman sees she finds dam on a bdika or achar tashmish or after meraglaim afilu, I'll get to meraglaim in a second. But let's start with bdika and tashmish. The nekuda over here is that when a woman sees dam in such a situation, so there's a suffix is brought down in Shas also in Zayin Beis that when in such a situation it could appear to her that she's not having hargasha, but it could really be that she did have hargasha, but she can't tell because something was going on in that same area. For instance, if she checked herself, she checked herself with an aid, abdikat chorim v'stakin, or tashmish. So in those cases, there's a deal on whether or not when she finds dam in such a case, is it considered tumah deoraita or not? The Shev Yaakov, Keto Kehuna, he brings a bunch of shutim that they done in it. L'maaseh, he brings the Sidrei Tahara, Chavodat, and Kreti Vefleti, who say B'ofen Echleti that it's deoraita. That's how they paskin. If a woman does kinuach instead of bedikat chorim v'stakin, so then in that case it's derabanan. But in the cases that we brought, if she does bedikat kmo shetzarich, it's deoraita. And even after hatarat meraglaim, if she's matin meraglaim, so that's also deoraita according to the Chavos Das. The Chavos Das adds that as well. Another diun that was mentioned a little bit on the Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch mentioned that this dam, if it falls also into the Bet HaChitzon, it doesn't come out of her body, rather it falls into the Bet HaChitzon, she's also Tmeah, as we spoke out in the previous video, which that's a Mishnah and Daf Mem Amud Aleph, if I'm not mistaken. So on that, there was a diun from Tshuvot, Sefer Shelot Tshuvot Brit Avraham and Meir Tzedakah, that they done whether when the dam falls into the Bet HaChitzon, we know that that's one re'iyah, that's mitameher. If a woman is matzliach to actually find out that thing happened, and to be able to recognize it, so she's tmeah. Now, when it falls actually out of the goof, out of the body, is that another re'iyah or not? That's the diun. The maskana, the Meir Tzedakah paskins that it is not a second re'iyah. There's only one in such a case where it falls to the Bet HaChitzon. She felt that it falls to the Bet HaChitzon. There's one re'iyah. What's the nafkamina? He says basically the only nafkamina to such a thing is by case of shoferet. I'm not going to get into that now because that is a nidon more for kuf pechet seif gimel shoferet. So I'm not going to get into that now, but that's the nafkimin over there. Ayin sham. Now, last one or two patashim, they deal with if a woman sees dam yavesh. The Shulchan Aruch said that if a tipat dam kachardal, small tiny piece of dam came out, it's metame her. It's metame her as a zavak dola also. On that he had a diun. What if dam yavesh came out? Would we also be metame her as a zavak dola? He's not malchiv in such a thing, so I'm not going to be malchiv either. And bikaron, that's all the patashim for Siman Kuf Pegimel. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day.